Week 13 NFL Power Rankings. So coming in at number 32, we have the Houston Texans. Not going to say much about this because I think everyone has them ranked as the worst team in the league. At number 31, I have the Denver Broncos. I'm really prepared to call the Russell Wilson trade the worst trade in NFL history because every week this offense just hits a new low. At number 30, I have the Carolina Panthers. A nice game back as the starting quarterback for Sam Darnold in their win versus the Broncos. At number 29, I have the Chicago Bears. This team just really doesn't have a chance to win without Justin Fields out there. He's just so dynamic and keeps them basically in every game. And that's basically what happened without him out there in their loss versus the Jets. At number 28, I have the Los Angeles Rams. Things are just going really, really bad for the Rams right now. All their star players are basically injured, and they don't even have their own first-round pick in this upcoming draft. At number 27, I have the New Orleans Saints. After finally having a good offensive performance last week, this offense went back to being really bad and put up 0 points in their loss versus the 49ers. At number 26, I have the Indianapolis Colts, a tough loss for them at home with some pretty bad clock management late in this game. At number 25, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers, a nice win for them in prime time. We're definitely seeing Kenny Pickett improve throughout his rookie season, and that's huge for the future of this franchise. At number 24, I have the Arizona Cardinals. This team is a disaster. They need to make major changes in this offseason, starting with the head coach position. At number 23, I have the Las Vegas Raiders, back-to-back overtime wins. This week's one was especially impressive on the road in Seattle. We know how tough it is to go into Seattle and win. At number 22, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars, a really impressive game from Trevor Lawrence. He led this team on a game almost tying drive. It would have been a game tying drive if they hit the field goal, but they said, nah, let's go for 2 and win the game. And that's what they did. They completed the 2-point conversion and upset the Ravens. At number 21, I have the Cleveland Browns, a huge upset for them in overtime versus Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Jacoby Brissett has played pretty well. I feel bad for him that he has to go and be the backup now after what he's done this season. At number 20, I have the Green Bay Packers. So they lost versus Philly. Aaron Rodgers went out with an injury. All that's not good, right? But Jordan Love, he looked pretty good in the few snaps he played in this game. So that is a bright spot for the Packers. At number 19, I have the Detroit Lions, a really heartbreaking last-second loss for them versus the Bills on Thanksgiving, but you gotta give this team its flowers for how it's performed this past month. At number 18, I have the Atlanta Falcons. There was just over a minute left in this game. The Falcons were down 6. It was 2nd and goal. Mariota throws a pass. It's tipped at the line of scrimmage and intercepted. I don't know why the Falcons just don't run the ball more. They're so good at it, but it seems like they stray away from it at the most crucial times during games. At number 17, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I thought they were going to be able to hit a late game-winning field goal, but they didn't really manage the time great late in the fourth quarter there. Then they lost in overtime versus the Browns. Pretty bad loss for the Bucs. At number 16, I have the Los Angeles Chargers. The H in Herbert stands for him, and he is very clutch, guys. At 15, I have the Seattle Seahawks, a tough loss in overtime for them versus the Raiders. At number 14, I have the New England Patriots. What a heartbreaking loss for them. What a tough way to lose that game versus the Vikings in prime time. Mac Jones played probably his best game of the season, passing for almost 400 yards. It really shows, a bright spot for this offense, and maybe this offense can put up more than, just a few points a game. At number 13, I have the New York Giants. They were hanging on in the first half versus the Cowboys, but in the second half, they just totally fell apart and lost. At number 12, I have the Washington Commanders. In their last 8 games, they are 7-1. Really impressive play going on right now in Washington. At number 11, I have the New York Jets. Mike White is him. He is him. The Jets, they just really need a game manager at quarterback because their defense is so good. But if Mike White just wants to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, that's going to make this team even better. At number 10, I have the Baltimore Ravens, and I gotta be honest, I'm concerned about this Ravens team. They struggled to beat the Panthers last week, and this week they lost to the Jaguars. They let them come down the field, score a touchdown, and then complete the 2-point conversion to lose them the game. At number 9, I have the Tennessee Titans, a close loss at home versus the Bengals. When Derrick Henry struggles in the run game, this offense does struggle, and I would say this team as a whole does struggle because then, they can't really gain that time of possession. They can't eat up the clock, and they give other offenses like the Bengals with Joe Burrow a bunch of time on the field. At number 8, I have the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are on a 4-game win streak. They shut out the Saints in their win versus them this past weekend. It looks like San Francisco is getting hot at the right time. At number 7, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. Huge road win for them versus the Titans. This was a really tough game and a really impressive win for Cincinnati. This defense really stepped up and was able to shut down Derrick Henry in the run game. At number 6, I have the Minnesota Vikings. A nice win for them versus the Patriots, and Kirk Cousins finally wins in prime time, guys. He did it. Maybe this is good for them going into the playoffs because, all the playoffs games are basically like primetime. I know there's 1 o'clock games, but come on, it's the playoffs. It's like equivalent of a regular season primetime game. And Kirk has to be able to step up in those big moments and win. At number 5, I have the Miami Dolphins. They took care of business versus the Texans, and Tua just continues to not lose. At number 4, I have the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen made the big clutch throw he needed to set up the game-winning field goal late versus the Lions. But oh my gosh, this game was close. This game was way closer than it should have been for this Bills team that has Super Bowl hopes. At number 3, I have the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys continued their winning ways versus the Giants. Dak now has a 10-2 record against them. All right, guys, the top 2 teams, they should really be like 1A and 1B. Both these teams deserve the number 1 spot, and it was really tough for me to decide who should be number 1. At number 2, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. They won versus the Rams, but I kind of thought they would dominate more. So basically, that's why I gave them the number 2 spot. Even though they're a really good team and can definitely win the Super Bowl, I just wanted to see them win by more versus the Rams. And so because of that, I have the Philadelphia Eagles at number 1. I was really impressed with their win versus the Green Bay Packers. Yes, the Packers got back into this game late, but they still needed an onside kick to possibly tie this game. Obviously, they didn't recover the onside kick. Philly won. Jalen Hurts is just looking so unstoppable right now, so dominant right now. He's doing it with his arm and his legs. Philly is looking really, really legit, guys. I want to know your top 5 teams. Let me know in the comments down below. Appreciate you guys watching. Peace.